What should we... I think there's a massive chance of that. It makes a lot of sense because, as we well know, with every budget there's the economics, but there's also the politics. What about the politics of the reply from Anthony Albanese? We've got that tomorrow night.
So I'm tipping really more on a hunch than anything, because infrastructure is this area, that he'll do something on infrastructure, but I know for a fact he'll do something on childcare. But it will not be what's been reported around the place today, free childcare. He's not going to take on the free childcare policy. He's not going to take on the Bill Shorten election childcare policy, but there will be extra support for childcare, an extra push for childcare in that budget reply speech. Scott Morrison's done a pretty good job with this budget politically, an excellent job. He hasn't left Anthony Albanese a lot to play with. There's not much he can disagree with. So he's really got to work for those areas like childcare, like infrastructure, where he can argue that things are missing. And look, I guess the other thing that they're arguing, and we saw that in question time, and I'll play this for you, is Jim Chalmers making the point that the new wage subsidy, the JOBMAKER hiring credit, is only for under 35s. What about the over 50s, etc., who are struggling to find a job once JobKeeper comes off?
Nearly 1 million Australians on JobSeeker over the age of 35 are ineligible for the government's hiring credit announcement. Why has the government blown out Liberal debt to $1 trillion during this Morrison recession, while still leaving so many Australians behind?
The Treasurer has the call.
Well, Mr Speaker, I never thought I'd see the day when the Labor Party was attacking a program which was designed to get young people from JobSeeker into work, Mr Speaker.
Now, the broader context of this this recession, this budget, Anthony Albanese and Jim Chalmers are trying to use the term the Morrison recession. Scott Morrison saying, come on, everyone knows the context, it's the pandemic.
I think he's got a point. I mean, if Labor had argued against the shutdowns and thrown health out the window, if they'd argued against the shutting of the international borders, then they can call it Morrison's recession. Otherwise, they can't. But I guess it's just politics, isn't it? What they want to be able to show, what they're trying to build, is this narrative, might take them a while, which might have more effect after JobKeeper comes off, which shouldn't be, because it's just not accurate that Scott Morrison caused the recession, but that he could have done more to alleviate it. I don't know what else you can do other than $500 billion in stimulus. But anyway, here's an example of Scott Morrison going off about it in question time.
The recession that has been caused in this country has been caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a fact that seems lost on the Leader of the Opposition and the Shadow Treasurer, Mr Speaker, and every time he ignores the impact of COVID-19 on the Australian economy, Mr Speaker, he demonstrates, Mr Speaker, his lack of understanding of the Australian economy.
And then the Prime Minister had a good crack at Labor's former ill-fated stimulus programs during the GFC, saying that they set roofs alight.
Not going to go down the reckless path that those opposite pursued when they were in government, throwing money around with no thought to the consequences of how they implement it, Mr Speaker. That was the record of those opposite. That was the record of those opposite who speak today, Mr Speaker, about putting a roof over people's heads. Well, the last time the Labor Party put money into people's roofs, they set them alight, Mr Speaker.
And Kieran, I've just been sent a statement from the Australian Tax Office which backs up what the Treasurer said, that it's too difficult for employers and the ATO to work out what the backdated amount or what have you, so people will have to wait for July. So that's kind of unfortunate, I think, in terms of the stimulus going straight into the economy. It will come after JobKeeper comes off, though, so there'll be a need for further stimulus, and, as we mentioned, it might have political implications, with most people around here tipping an election quite possibly late next year.
Yeah, well, the timing would be impeccable on that front.